Man, good afternoon, folks. It is the Sunday, man. I don't know, Jonathan Vilma called it a big win. We should be proud of ourselves, but man, it's rough, man. What you think of that down?
Uh,
I know.
I don't know how to even call it, fellas. I mean, as a Saints fan, I'm happy, but as a Saints fan, I'm not happy. You know, what I mean, I would like for us to get a better pick, of course, but we beat Tampa Bay, man. You know, I don't like Tampa Bay. You know, the division rival. I don't like. I don't like Atlanta. You know, so I guess a win's a win, fellas. But I'm saying, like, does that hurt our chance of getting a quarterback of the future? Or here's the question: after this game, I mean, what about Pete Carmichael? If we get rid of him, I mean, Derek Carr didn't look particularly bad. I mean, he does have the most tied for the most 300-yard games in the NFL. I mean, we was playing from behind a lot, but
True.
that's what it is.
Yeah, man. Hey, who's all in here, man? We got Chris up in here yet, too, or what?
Yeah, we got Chris.
Yeah,
and
what's up,
Darren's
Chris?
video's not working out too
There
well.
he is.
So
Wait, what's
What
that?
up, Chris? How you doing, buddy?
And we got Coach Darren Burns in here, just so everybody know. We're doing a little point after, catch up on some games. Had some big upsets. We got some clinches that have been done. We got some first round picks, some first picks being clinched. So out of today, Dave, what is your biggest surprise that you came out of today? Including the Saints game.
Oh, man, I saw some gutsy efforts, man, by the Giants. I mean, and look, it's week to week in NFL. I mean, the Rams look so damn good these past few weeks. The Giants look like they kind of came down from that little DeVito run, and they played them very closely. I mean, we saw some, look at Miami getting their ass handed to them by Baltimore. I didn't think that game would be that one-sided. But, I mean, real quick on the Saints, I thought really good game most of the time. But I don't know, man, if you guys felt like it, but it's like Dennis Allen doesn't know what to do with a lead. I don't know if you guys – I know Kamara was out, but it feels like the lack of touches for Taysom, the lack of creativity with the offensive play calling with a lead, it just feels like you're walking on eggshells, even with a 3-possession lead in that game. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just felt a little – I didn't feel good about that once Tampa got that first score. I felt like we were kind of like, hey, we need to do something, put this thing away.
I mean, again, that killer instinct, put the foot on the throat, Sean Payton style, kind of get him while he, gut him up while he can. That's not there anymore. I mean, eventually you got to create the identity of always Sean thing was finish strong, do your job.
It's definitely a different vibe.
Today's games.
Who?
What is your takeaway from today's games in general?
I would say the biggest upset was the Cardinals beating the Eagles.
There you go.
Yeah. The Cardinals, I don't know how they keep doing it. I mean, and they haven't only won, 3-4 games, but they play really extremely hard. And the Eagles have played like crap here few weeks. It's been crazy, I guess. But that's probably the biggest takeaway. And then the Ravens just kind of routing out Miami the way they did, and it puts Lamar Jackson kind of in front for the MVP. I would say Stroud should win MVP, but maybe I'm just biased. But
so piggybacking off that Arizona game, what would be your take on that? I mean, as a professional, do you always go out to win, or do you somehow tiptoe around losing 2 drafts? Is that an option in your book?
Well, for me, that listen, I think if we was gonna lose, we should have lost out. But to piggyback off what he was saying about, I still don't give Lamar the favorite, in my opinion anyway, of the MVP candidate. He's had 2 really good games, but before these 2 good games, his quarterback rating was 69. Okay, that's not where it needs to be. I don't know what Tyreek did today. I didn't get the check. I didn't get the game stats.
I think it was
that.
like 6 for 76 or something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he had a really good day for everybody else, but not for Tyreek.
Right.
But then
right.
what did McCaffrey do today?
He was kind of limited. I think they kind of went to Mitchell late from what I was looking at in the box scores. I think he had a decent McCaffrey day. I mean, maybe fantasy, like a 15 to 20 point game. That type
I'm just
of thing.
talking about like
must have not have
MVP
been-
wise.
I'm watching the ticker now, and they didn't even have highlights on McCaffrey, so it must have not have been that.
Because listen, that's my 3. That's my 3. You got Jackson, Hill, and McCaffrey. But listen, CJ Stroud is playing better than, I'm gonna say, probably 80% of the country besides Houston. Houston was the only one that really believed in CJ Stroud for a while. But the kid's a baller, man. He's doing good things out in Houston. I got friends in Houston. We got one with us right now, H-Town with us. But my friends out in Houston love him. But what about Justin Fields now that we're talking about quarterbacks? I think Chicago rides with Justin Fields. That's my opinion.
Yeah, Darren, we hit on that earlier for a while, man. I would like to see what you guys think. I mean, me and Chris talked about it, but I know Pancho and Darren, I don't know what y'all think about it.
I mean, at this point, if you're going to ride Fields, I mean, you got a gold mine at the number 1. So, I mean,
Sell it.
The only problem is you're limited to what teams that can take that. So you got you only got 2 to 3 teams that, unless they want to extend that over 3-4 years, in which most of your NFL, they try to get it with a 2-year span, 3-year span at most. You're not getting picks from 4 years ago.
What about?
Well,
to me, the X factor would be head coach, right? I mean, wouldn't the X factor be your head coach? I mean, if Eberflus is going to be back there or not? You know what I'm saying? I think that's going to have a lot to say about who goes and who might not be going.
Do you go make a big splash? I mean, do you do the Michigan, Harbaugh come in with the splash and give him full reins of a fresh quarterback, and they started with basically ground zero.
Yeah, I mean,
what about
trading? The case,
what about trading it to Pittsburgh?
Who's that now?
What y'all think about trading the first overall to Pittsburgh and get Mike Tomlin and a player?
I don't know if Pittsburgh would give up Mike, man. I don't know. That'd be an interesting. Look, I wouldn't put it past the Bears' asking price.
Hey, so from my inside source, the writing's on the wall for Tomlin out there, man. Pittsburgh's kind of like New Orleans, man. They get riled up really easily. They're not playing really well right now. They do need another quarterback because apparently it's not working out with them. They got a great receiver, decent running back. They really, a quarterback could set them off. So trade the first round pick, maybe get Tomlin and, this year and next year's first rounds. I mean, that's what it's worth. It's a number 1 pick.
I mean, if it's a possibility, I mean, it's a crapshoot. Yeah, it could happen. Again, if Mike Tomlin would have to want out of there, I think he's a legend there. He's a Bill Belichick. He almost wants to have the one out, and if he's there at that point, he demands a lot of money.
Well, on the early show as well,
Belichick's out too.
Yeah, and Belichick's going to be going. They got to draft a quarterback over there, whoever's going to be there. I mean, you got a top 5 pick in New England. But we talked about it on the show earlier. I know Richie, Chris, Fatty, we all kind of discussed it. Russell Wilson. Is Pittsburgh a nice landing ground for him, and you could still draft that quarterback maybe in the first or second round, have that guy play under Russell Wilson? I mean, what if you bring Russell Wilson into that Steelers team? Do you feel a little bit better about that? I mean, rather than Mason Rudolph or Kenny Pickett, they're obviously going to be better, even though Wilson at this point in his career is not the same guy. I think it's an automatic upgrade, and you can let that young guy develop under Wilson for a year or two.
I don't disagree with that.
It's all gonna. I'd say it's gonna come down to money with Russell Wilson. I mean, Is he going to get cut? Probably yes, but then he's going to demand some money behind that. I don't think he's going to take a $8 to $10 million, sit and watch role or.
But I would say like 2 for 30 or 2 for 40. I mean, what team? I think there's got to be a team that would meet 2 for 30 or 2 for 40 with Russell Wilson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're making $37 million, but you're not even showing up in Denver next year, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's going to get time. I mean, I know what you're saying, Pancho. He ain't going to come in and play for backup money. But, I mean, 2 years, $40 million. I mean, if I'm the Steelers, why not? You know what I'm saying? I mean, he makes you 2 or 3 games better just walking in the door. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you can argue that point also. I mean, he hasn't been very well as of late at all. I mean,
I don't like that. I don't like that Denver team.
You can carry the name, but can the name carry itself? So I mean, it's.
I think the Steelers have a little more.
Who's he throwing to? I mean,
defensive side of the ball, especially.
Go ahead, Aaron.
I said, who's he throwing to? I mean, listen to me. Randy just now said Wilson to Atlanta. Me and Randy was in the comments earlier when y'all was on. Listen to me. Russell Wilson's wife, she had a music career in Atlanta. Her family's from Atlanta. Listen, why wouldn't they want to go to Atlanta?
They're not gonna
with her family since she's been on the road 2 years, 2 years, $45 million. Plus, he's getting.
Atlanta would not do that to their franchise.
But what you mean to that franchise? They got Desmond Ritter.
No, I get that. What you're failing to understand is you've got a guy that's 35 years old. You've got a team that's got a lot of babies on them. I mean, these guys are going to grow in like 4 or 5 years. Russell Wilson gives you maybe 2, not even 2 at the max.
Hey, he's going to give you 2. But listen, if they had Russell Wilson, they win the division this year.
Well, that's on the account that the Bucs suck, the Panthers suck, and the Saints suck.
Okay, and we're going to suck again next year. Nobody's going to be a world beater next year.
You don't know that.
What team's going to be a world beater next year?
I'll say this: Atlanta's in the best position to do that, in my opinion. If you look at just sheer talent, I know Saints fans don't want to hear that, but sheer talent and the youth, they're in the best position in the division to go forward.
So with Atlanta, it's either they're at this point, so they know what they have in Ritter. That's why they keep going to Heineke. So,
it won't be one of those.
At this point, I mean, are you done with Ritter, or do you?
They're done.
Yeah,
they're done.
Yeah, they done.
Yeah, he's done. He's gone.
Process another offseason and try to. I mean, he's been in the system for 2 years. I mean,
it's done.
I mean, eventually the speed comes to you. Eventually, you catch it. I mean, you're not going to get it in your first or second year for most players. Some players have an exception. But,
all right, so look, couple of comments. Oren said nah, but I don't know which part he's talking about. Randy B agrees with me, I think. Shane said Wilson has sucked too, which guess what? I'm absolutely agreeing with Shane, but he's way better than what Atlanta has to offer right now. Randy B said his name will sell seats. That's true.
Well, and that's what I put that on there earlier. I said the same exact thing. Right now, what do they struggle with? Brand new stadium, just a few years old. What do they struggle with as much as anything? Is putting asses in seats.
It's a soccer town, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what the hell. I mean, it's a Braves town when they get in the playoffs, but Atlanta's a shit fan base in all sports. It really is. I mean, they do not come out. But Russell Wilson, like you said, the Ciara connection, he's a big name, even though he's not maybe what he once was. He's a name. And, I mean, I'm not saying to run your organization that way, but bring him in and then bring the understudy in as well. Still draft a Jaden Daniels or Drake May or whoever.
Chris, who's starting next year, Chris?
Who's starting where?
For Atlanta.
It'll be a rookie quarterback.
You're gonna go back.
And I don't dispute that. I don't dispute that at all, Pancho. I think it's very possible.
You've got a 1 year running back. You've got a wide receiver 1 that's in year 3, and you've got a tight end in year 3. Why would you sign a 35-year-old quarterback who hasn't done anything in Denver? I don't care that he's not a Tom Brady name. He's not putting seats in. No one in Atlanta is getting excited for Russell Wilson. I'm sorry. He's 35 years old, guys. He's not young. He ain't getting any better.
Bro, they're getting excited for anybody if they can win. Atlanta needs to win by all means necessary.
The Broncos are 7-8.
But Chris, do you give
Falcons?
Hey, Chris, but do you bring him in and then still, like, my thing would be if you were to bring him in, if you still got to draft a quarterback. You still have to draft a first-round quarterback.
Absolutely. He ain't signing for no $5 million.
No. He's going to get 15 to 20 at least. Yeah.
He thinks he deserves more than what he is. He
No,
possibly
he can't
was,
get that, man.
but I mean, the dude's 35. He's not. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is like 40. He's getting paid probably more than that. But we all trust in Aaron Rodgers more than we do Russell Wilson right now.
Well, let me ask you this, though. Why would you even go – and here's the thing about Russell Wilson. I know he's the topic of conversation, but why would you skip on a Kirk Cousins and go to Russell Wilson?
Because he's in the same boat. He's 35.
That's what I'm saying. But, I mean, right now, would you take Kirk Cousins over Russell Wilson?
No, not if I'm Atlanta. I would not take either of them.
No, I'm saying if you were a team that, like, I mean, with Pittsburgh as well. Like, would Pittsburgh ignore Kirk Cousins to go after Russell Wilson?
Put together as much as – they're not put together as well as Atlanta is.
They go on within the last 2 weeks. They go on with the theme with the upsets. Aaron wanted to talk upsets a little bit. The last 2 weeks, man, you don't know who's which and which is who's the pretenders, who's the contenders. You kind of know, but you don't know. You want to say it, but you can't say it. Type feeling. I mean, the only team that's shining is the Ravens. I mean, that's the only one, and not even shining. I mean,
49ers are good.
49ers are still there.
3 games in a row they lost, though. I mean,
but
come on.
They're going to lose games in the NFL. That's different. The playoffs are going to be a lot different. Even KC, I mean, they're 9-6.
Hey, they clinched today.
Yeah, they did. But KC,
they clinched. They're the first round bye.
The Chiefs are still going to make noise in the playoffs.
James Conner, 133 yards rushing.
Yeah, I mean, where'd that come from? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he does that.
Hey, don't forget he had like 30 or 40 in the air game too. Receiving.
Yeah.
I mean,
so listen to me. Oren says everyone's placing the blame on quarterbacks, but the defense is giving up points. This is true. Shane said Wilson with the Vikings would be interesting. That really would be. Randy B says he don't agree with you, H-Town. He says he will go on discount, H-Town, which I think he's got to go on discount. But the problem with it is this. How much is a discount? I mean, listen, if I'm a team, I'm not giving him more than $20 million.
I wouldn't give him more than $5 million. That's what I'd give him. That's a discount if I'm Atlanta. And you're still drafting a quarterback. I will promise you, come next – I tell you what, in the short months coming to the draft, I promise you in the first round, Atlanta's taking a quarterback. I will guarantee it.
Yeah. Oh, no, they have to, Chris. They're built for it. They're the team that's built for Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams or Drake May more than anybody.
Look at what they've done. They've taken a wide receiver. They've drafted Kyle Pitts. They had Tyler Algiers, but Bijan was the fancy name right there. They took another running back. Guess what they're going to do this year? They're taking a quarterback because there's so many of them in this draft. There's no way. And
Chris,
5 that are going to go in the first round.
And Chris, to add to that, they've also solidified their offensive line. They just gave contract extensions to their guards before this season. So I mean, their line is in place.
Defense, but it ain't going to be in the first round. I tell you.
To make a, I mean, I've been a big advocate for this defense, man. This defense, even today, stepped up. Jonathan Abram, man, had a career day. I mean, I don't know what more are you going to ask. I mean. You're not going to get shut. You're not going to get shutouts every week. I mean,
no, but you got to be better than what you were against the Rams, though.
I mean, we're averaging 14 to 15 points, or per game. I mean, that's all you can ask for. I mean,
who are you talking about? The Saints?
He's talking about the Saints defense, but statistically, we're middle of the pack in most categories. We're pretty much an average football team with a bad coaching staff. That's the way I look at it.
This was a Saints trap game that they should have lost, but they won just to do it in spite to keep Dennis out. That's exactly what happened.
Basically you retain
Steve, Happy New Year, Steve. Steve says Happy New Year from down under.
Oh, Steve, Australian Steve, man.
Oh, yeah.
He goes back years,
Steve,
man.
Thank you for tuning in. Hey, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Hey, please like and share the page for us, too.
Yes, I've been seeing Steve Clements. He's been around town, man. He's been in for 3 weeks. He hangs out with Brian with 6 Saint.
We talking about the same Steve?
He comes down. He's a big guy.
No, 2 different Steves. Different Steves.
Bruce Clements. Bruce is actually from Australia, but Bruce came in for 3 weeks.
Oh, really? Okay, well, there you go. Good connect. Yeah.
He's an Australian Saints fan. He's been in the news and stuff. So and he's been commenting on some stuff here and there.
Hey, man, what is the lack of touches for Taysom Hill? I don't understand it, man. Obviously, this dude, he shits greatness at times. But we just refuse to go to this guy after – I mean, the second half, he had, 2 or 3 touches? I mean, it was – I don't understand what's going on.
You know what it
What's
is.
that?
Fire Pete Carmichael, dog.
I mean, look, and the problem is, Darren, like Pancho said, you have this game today where everything looks really good most of the time. You basically bought jobs for these guys again going into next year when you do shit like that.
Exactly what you did.
I
Unfortunately,
mean, so it's like you're hovering in
Pete
mediocrity.
Carmichael's done.
I think Pete Carmichael's got to go. I'd promote Ronald Curry or go outside the organization.
If you're a Saints fan,
He's
I can
done.
tell you right now, if you're a
Pete's
Saints
done.
fan and you want to experience one of the best rivalries I've experienced in the NFL, man, go to the game. You could buy a ticket probably for $20 and go down and cut up with the Dirty Birds, because listen, they will be down there full effect times 10 because you got Atlanta people in New Orleans, so you get we travel back and forth. So if you look, this is a cheap game to go to. Again, buy the ticket, go to the game, enjoy yourself. Man, it's gonna be a good game.
Y'all play Atlanta next week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, Chris, that's what we were
And
joking
Tampa
about
Bay
earlier.
plays Carolina.
Yeah, and we were joking
Tampa
about
Bay
this whole scenario earlier. Remember, guys, we were saying the Saints have come out today, beat Tampa. You'd get Carolina to help you out next week. And what if we fall apart against Atlanta? I mean, wouldn't that be the typical 2022, 23 Saints, line right there? I mean, to go blow the game against Atlanta when everything else falls into place. I mean, I hope it doesn't come down to that, but, I mean, let's be real. I mean, the way this season is going, I wouldn't be surprised.
Carolina can't beat Tampa, man. Come on, that's what we need.
I don't
There's
think
no
they will
way
either.
get
Now,
blown
hey,
out.
keep an eye on Baker Mayfield, though. What's going on with that late hit late in the game?
I mean, we're in the same boat with AK. So, I mean.
Well, yeah, AK. I mean, but I feel confident. Listen, man, I still think Atlanta's tanking, dude. Atlanta's moving up draft stock. They have nowhere to go. I know they want to beat us and play spoiler and all, but moving up a couple spots in the draft's more important than that. I mean, I don't think we're getting much from Atlanta this last game. I really don't. I think we'd have to do some stupid shit.
Miller's gonna run all over next week. Miller will be back next week.
I'd love to see that kid get a shot. I'd love to see more Taysom. Because, I mean, look, Jamal Williams, no offense to Jamal, but Jamal's not going to live up to that contract we paid him. He's a decent number two back. Dan Campbell knows how to use the two-back system really well, and they made him look a little better than what he was last year. That's why they let him go. They got Jahmyr Gibbs. They got David Montgomery. They knew what the hell they were doing. Jamal's not going to carry us to a victory. Like you said, it's got to be Kendrick Miller. It's got to be Taysom. A lot of pressure on Derek Carr. He did a good job today,
though. Hey, he did a good job today replacing Alvin.
No, hey, look, I like this the little catch out the backfield and the screen. He did a nice job there. I mean, I'm just not wild about Jamal. I got to see more from him, but I just think I don't think he's nothing to wow you home with. You know what I'm saying? He's more of a change of pace. Give him 5 or 6 carries. Let him do his thing. I don't think he's going to lead the way.
Listen, guys. Well, I mean, I'm all for let's go. I mean, let's everybody have fun. Let Shaheed have fun. Even Lynn Bowden. I mean, he was a quarterback in college. So I mean, he's on the field playing wide receiver. Let him somehow get involved in that trickery. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't.
Well, Pancho, I got a question for you, man. How far? You know how I felt about Olave at times. How far do you have Shaheed and Olave apart from one another?
It's quite. I mean, you get 2 different players doing 2 different things. Can one do the other? I believe Olave can do what Shaheed does.
Let me ask you, who has more upside, you think, right now? These guys are about the same age. Who do you think's got the most upside out of those 2?
I would say Olave.
No, I don't know.
I mean, he's got a better.
I think it's more closer than what we might have thought going into
Shaheed's could be ceiling, I believe.
I don't know about that, fellas.
What y'all think? I'm about to say, Darren, Chris, what y'all think? Because, I mean, I'm not saying it's a right or wrong. I'm not saying I got my mind made up, but I like what I see from Shaheed. I really do.
Badass catches. I've seen him run some badass routes. Shaheed is, again, a incoming undrafted rookie, but he has to play his way in and get the snaps. He has to prove himself. Is he going to get that full chance of doing that? Dennis Allen is giving Shaheed that every full right of refusal to play to hold down that spot.
But
I don't know if he's not our world. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't know. Shaheed, I like this kid's canvas, man.
Hey, it goes back to what I was saying, man. Listen, Pete Carmichael you need a young-minded coach, man. Because look, Shaheed's fast. He could do the same kind of stuff that the Cheetah does. They 2 different receivers, man. You can't compare them. You know,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Olave's a possession receiver. Shaheed is a, you know, is a hill type. He's super fast. He could take the cover off you. He can come
Right.
around, you know, for the jet sweep, things of that nature. But I mean, I would love to see what else he could do. Let's get some of these comments.
Yeah, let's do it.
Shane
Let's do it.
says Williams is a very good back. He's a very good goal line back, but in third down back, but he's not a starter.
Right.
He said 1,000 miles. I think he's talking about the Shaheed thing. Oren says Shaheed. Shane says Shaheed is a deep threat, and that's it. It showed today. It's either he has a long touchdown catch or he doesn't get much at all. That's
but
true
that's Derek
because
Carr.
of the play calling. I agree
Right.
with Shane.
Right.
And then Randy says, I wonder if Shaheed was the one who bought Brothers Chicken. Hey, hold on, Randy. We're not going to do that. We're not about to start messing with my Brother's Chicken because they got the best fucking biscuits on earth besides Church's.
Church's Biscuits. I try to explain that to a lot of people about Church's Biscuits,
Dude,
man.
nobody knows about fucking fried chicken.
Church's
Birdie's
biscuits are the best ever, bro. I'm just
Birdie's
telling
fried
you.
chicken.
Wait, who's?
Birdie's fried chicken.
Birdie's out in Laplace, huh?
Dang right, bro. You dang right.
Laplace,
Hey.
baby.
The play.
Laplace. Look, hey, I'm gonna tell y'all fried chicken,
Steve
Franklin
said-
Avenue, bro.
Steve
Feel
said no
relevant.
Jimmy again today. I don't know why.
Yeah,
we don't
Jimmy
use
didn't see
Jimmy
the field,
a
yeah.
lot, Steve.
Well, you didn't need
I don't
to
know,
see.
Steve. I like Jimmy. I like Jimmy in the red zone. I mean, he's 6'7" and could jump out the gym. I don't understand.
How about Jawan Johnson today, though, man?
That's why you
He
didn't
decided
see
to
him.
join the 23 season.
Yeah, I mean,
Where'd that come from, dude? I mean, this is what we expected all year from this guy. Him and Carr looked great together, dude. The timing
You
on
know
the
what's
touchdown, the little flip pass on third down from the goal line.
You know what's funny, Dave? You know who also when Carr was with the Raiders, he had a great relationship with Darren Waller. I
Yeah.
don't know why they don't reproduce that over here in New Orleans.
I don't think you have the coaching staff to make it happen. Like Darren was saying earlier, I don't think you have the play calling to
problem
make
is
it
we
work.
got the same coaching staff doing it. That's the problem. I mean,
Yeah.
you got Dennis Allen came from the Raiders with that same process and coming over here trying to do the same goddamn thing. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think Carr's got a lot of work to do, but I just like I feel like he's been the whipping boy for this entire season, and I mean, you know, Richie always messes with me saying I'm defending Carr, but I see something there that could be better with better coaching, and you know, some other things there that need to be adjusted, obviously, but I don't think Carr's been awful. I think he's been pretty mediocre, but it's like if you had a good play caller, could he have propelled Carr to that next level? I mean, I don't know, maybe not.
Carr is not winning you the game. He's not even. He's being. It's so vanilla what he's doing.
But I mean, but is that play calling? Is that play
He's-
calling?
He's getting.
I mean,
behind.
Pacha, you're a bad
He's
running
catching
team as
up.
well right now.
He's catching up in the third quarter and can't finish the fourth quarter. So it's just.
No, but Pacha, that was play calling, man. It was terrible play calls.
But
it
you
was
still gotta
vanilla
execute, bro.
playing.
You still throwing the ball. You still throw the ball. And the
I get
players
that, but I mean,
still
like,
catch the ball. I mean,
but you see, but where when Kamara goes out the game, I'm heavy Taysom Hill at that point when Kamara's out the game. You rely on Jamal Williams. You're relying on these other guys. I mean, it's just it's
speaking of
real
the
simple.
best-
He's your best weapon. Use him.
The
You know what I'm
best thing
saying?
they did today was let Taysom throw the ball 3 yards. I mean,
No, but Taysom, hey, yeah, what was that completion?
That was
A
the best
first down
thing they did.
completion?
that is that simple 3-yard pass to a dump off opens his RPO right open. Like
Well, yeah, and then you don't use it the rest of the way. You refuse to use it when you had something to build on.
That's the problem. If you're gonna run an RPO, you have to have multiple versions of it. You just can't have Taysom not denying or running back the ball and him just nosing up the
Yeah,
the guard.
Yeah, you're taking his legs from under him when you're giving him these obvious calls, and the defense knows what's coming. You're taking, you're taking it from him at that point.
Hey, but what y'all not remembering is this. Wasn't Tampa like the second or third hottest team in the league? They won like 3 straight, right?
They were.
Okay, so check this out. So what was they relying heavy on? Because White was averaging 5.5 yards a carry, some crazy ass number like that.
Yeah,
Listen,
he was in the zone.
you
Yeah,
can't run the ball in the NFL. You can't win big games, man. It's what it is. Look what happened today. We shut down their run. They lose the game. So we don't have a running game right now, gentlemen. So you could have Drew Brees didn't do shit without a running game. You
Yeah.
have to have a running game in the NFL these days. And look,
No, I
Pete
agree.
Carmichael's play calling is vanilla. Why don't we get rid of everybody and throw the book at Jim Harbaugh? Huh?
I
Hey,
would Jim Harbaugh.
Because
But I
Mickey
agree with
Loomis ain't gonna let that happen.
I agree.
Well,
with
Mickey can get the two.
I understand, but I'm promised. Like I've been saying, dog. When Mickey, when you just when I worked around Mickey, when I did pest control
Mickey's
for
not
Mickey,
good. He's the one that
he
put
made
charges.
me feel like
I
like,
agree,
hey,
Chris. I
call me
agree.
by my first name. Like he's that type of guy.
That
He
guy's not
introduces you.
good.
But I think Mick, like he is. He they're not gonna fire anybody, bro. Like it almost
no,
you
I
have
agree
to
with that.
quit.
I agree with that because I think
Like
you have
Sean
an
Payton,
owner
Sean Payton
that
had to quit. Mickey
I
wasn't
think you
gonna
have
fire
an
Sean
owner
Payton.
that is. I think you have an owner that's just too sweet and too kind to actually
Yeah.
get her hands dirty and say, "All right,
Yeah.
the 09 Super Bowl run, it's over. It's done. It's time to move on." And
Yeah.
the culture is still lingering from the Sean Payton, Drew Brees era. They think they're going to reproduce Devery Henderson and all these Lance Moore type guys. You need to throw
And
away
doesn't-
all
yeah.
that crap. You need to get away. Why do you have two GMs? Why is Ireland and Mickey Loomis both running y'all's team? Get rid of both or just keep Ireland. But Loomis,
Keep Ireland, yeah.
he's the reason why y'all in this situation. Y'all throw
Yeah.
all these massive contracts out to these mediocre players, and then you kick them down the curb. And then you go out and you don't draft anybody but a defensive tackle or an offensive tackle every year. You pass on all the good bona fide players. Then you go re-sign players in free agency that are mediocre and hope to become a big splash, and they're not. And you do that every year, and you become mediocre. That's what sucks it. I love the fact that there's an opportunity for the Saints to go out and draft a quarterback and start fresh and young and fire the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Will they do it? I pray, but I don't know.
Listen, like
What am I hearing?
mentioned on Facebook and all the comments.
Hey,
I'm
hold on.
Harbaugh, dude. I'm going to the Chargers. I'm going anywhere.
Are y'all
You going
hearing
where?
that? What's hello?
Darren's in the
Oh, okay. I was listening. I lost it for a second.
So out of the rest of the games today, is there any game that you have interest in?
No, hold on. Who you said Harbaugh's going to?
Who?
Shane said the Chargers.
No, man. Belichick's going to the Chargers.
Y'all don't think Belichick's going to ride off into the sunset or what?
He might. He's
No,
He's
man.
Old man.
I don't know why. I just think it's going to be it for him. What's Bill? He's got to be in his 70s, huh? I mean,
It's hard to start over.
Is there any college coaches besides Harbaugh that you see moving up?
No, I would not hire a college coach. Do not hire a college coach. No.
I mean, Harbaugh had that little taste of success with the 49ers, so he's a little bit different for me.
He's different, but I wouldn't hire him for y'all.
Are you giving Ben Johnson $15 million?
Not after what I saw yesterday. I don't know. I mean, but I like him. I do like him.
I would take a young offensive or defensive coordinator in the NFL right now.
No, I'm saying Ben Johnson wants $15 million. Would you give him that?
I mean, if I were, I would. Why not?
What you think, Darren?
I mean, maybe. So look, Shane said
highest paid head coach, $15 million, Ben Johnson.
Why not?
Highest paid.
I mean, what did you
Shane, just because he hired an agent doesn't mean that he's necessarily going to San Diego or wherever, the Chargers.
He's going to the NFL though. Let's be real. He's making that step. He already had success with the 49ers.
Well, yeah, he hired the agent for that reason.
Well, because he has his feet on the fire right now. Michigan gave him the 10-year, $125 million, no NFL contract talk at all for 10 years. So I think now he has a decision to make.
Let me ask you this.
No, I think it's only partial, Pancho. I think he can't talk to the NFL for like 3 years, I think.
I got you.
I mean, hey, look, the Chargers are a heck of a job, though. I mean, you got Justin Herbert, you got, I don't know about Allen being around too much longer, or Eckler, but you got Derwin James, Khalil Mack. It's Los Angeles. It's a nice destination. The only problem is you're in a division with Patrick Mahomes. So, but it's a nice job on paper. I can't hear. I don't know what's going on. I'm hearing Y'all can hear that? I don't know if I'm hearing that. It feels like I'm at like a call center.
No, you're all right. No, Darren's
All
got bad internet service.
Oh,
so
okay.
He's cutting in and out.
I got you.
No, bro, it ain't.
So
I changed that.
He said I
changed
rectified that situation.
Got that
So,
cock.
any takeaway, any interest in today's games, the remaining games from today?
Kansas City. I mean, I'd like to see what Kansas City in was it Cincinnati?
Yeah,
They're in a war right now.
You got Seattle and the Steelers 7-up. You got Bengals 3, Chiefs 7, and you got the Chargers and Broncos 3-0 Broncos.
Oh man, I tell you what I'd be interested in is the game tonight, man.
The Packers.
I'll tell you, I've been pushing my basketball shit all day, man. But I got the Pels tonight, man. Pels and Lakers, Smoothie King Center.
Oh man.
Yep.
Oh man, I should have went to that game tonight.
They got Juvie and Manny Fresh halftime show.
There you
Never
go.
mind.
Hey, wait. So are we sure that Richie confirmed that too early, or are we sure LeBron and Anthony Davis aren't playing in this games? I find that a little strange.
I don't know, bro.
That's what he
I mean,
said.
I know they played last night. They lost to Minnesota. It was supposedly kind of iffy, some kind of deal about a challenge that didn't go their way late in the game on a three-point shot. But, I mean, are they giving LeBron rest right now at 39 years old, or is Davis pussing out? He don't want to get booed in New Orleans. What's the deal? But Richie was saying both guys aren't playing, so I'd like to see if we can find something on that. I mean, because right now these football games the rest of the day are kind of, I don't know, man. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not, like, really invested in it.
The Cincinnati Chiefs game's about it.
Right. Hey, man, look, don't look now, but the Buffalo Bills, man, we can't close the book on them just yet this year. I think Buffalo's a nightmare for somebody to get in the playoffs, man.
They're hanging on by.
All right, before we close shop, from your takeaway today, who is the MVP for the NFL? And no question, get an answer.
Wait.
Who's your
MVP?
Darren, we're picking up a lot of your background noise.
It's all right. We got one last question. Darren, who you got for the MVP this year?
Jackson, Hill, and McCaffrey, my top three.
You got Jackson winning.
No. Jackson's is third in voting.
All right, who you got winning? McCaffrey?
McCaffrey for the MVP, me.
Who you got, Dave?
Man, I'd love to go a position player with Tyreek or McCaffrey, but I got a weird feeling the last 2 weeks I think it's going to be Jackson.
What about Chris?
I feel it should be Stroud just because he's put the Texans where they are right now.
Yeah.
I don't happen realistically. So I'm going to have to go Jackson because they always give it to a quarterback.
Well, I'll go Jack. You take Jackson off that team, man. It's a terrible team.
Yeah,
I don't disagree.
So
good defense, but terrible offense.
Yeah. So,
and Mark Andrews has been going half the year. A really good tight end. I mean, he brought a bunch of new receivers together, and he's made that work.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you back on Tuesday. I'm guessing if we all sign up for that Tuesday night.
Tuesday, man.
Down south. Give us a share. Darren, Chris, Dave, and myself and Richie, who are partying. DJ, but we see y'all back Tuesday.
Happy New Year. Happy fucking New Year, man.
Happy New Year.
All right.